In April, Janet left the junior club, and so that left only 4 juniors. On May the 3rd, Vice-Captain took the juniors, while Gillian and I set off for Huckabee's farm on our bikes. The others came with Vice-Captain under sealed orders and tracking signs. When they arrived, Jill and I had a lovely fire going and the kettle boiling. We all had tea or cocoa, and then we put the fire out and set off for home. 4 of us walked along Mapley and arrived home at about 9:30 p.m. Jill and Anne went back by bike. Vice-Captain and Joyce walked back through Arnold, and Margaret and Peggy went by the fields and got chased by a cow. I am sure we all enjoyed ourselves, despite the wind and rain, and we came home feeling happy but rather dirty. In fairness, I should add, the farmer's wife gave us warm water to start the kettle boiling. At our next meeting it rained, and we were busy working on baskets, etc. Gillian kidded Peggy on that she was engaged to Dave. She was wearing my dress ring. What a laugh we had after Peggy and the club had gone. June the 14th, Jacqueline joined the club but left again in September owing to homework. On June 21st, Pat Leverton joined us. We had a lovely summer and were able to play many outdoor games, cricket, rounders, tracking and stalking, etc. As the summer drew to a close and the darker evenings came, we started practicing for the concert. This we soon got going in full swing. We really did work hard, and most of us worked very hard for the sale of work. Those doing a great deal for the sale were Joyce, Peggy and Gillian, and I would like to thank them very much for the effort. Also to Wendy for doing the typing. I could and should mention all the things the girls have done, but I will stop here saying thank you to them all for working so well with me. Pat Stacey. Concert, 1955. On December the 11th, the night before our concert was due to be put on at the Front Street Baptist Hall, a few of us went down to look at the stage to see what needed to be done the following day. On Saturday morning, Penny, Jill, Pat Ellis and myself had a very bumpy but enjoyable ride down Langley Avenue on one of Mr. Hill's lorries with all the props. We then got cracking with various odd curtains, dozens of pins and yards of sellotape, and made the stage and stall for the sale of work look a bit more presentable. And we pinned bamboo canes on a piece of curtain for the Hawaiian scene. We had a dress rehearsal in the afternoon, and Mrs. Lockley very kindly came down to play the piano for us. I'll say nothing more about that afternoon, but leave it to your imagination. The evening started at 7:15 p.m. after the sale of work with a play, Mr. Hackett's Alibi. It was quite an event for us when Peggy, Mr. Hackett, actually did drop the clock instead of allowing a piece of paper to float slowly and silently to the floor as at rehearsals, which did not give quite the same effect, needless to say. Josie danced twice for us during the evening. And at the end of the first half, the seniors put on a Hawaiian scene with grass skirts and flower garlands, with which Josie had helped to try to make us do a few dancing steps. After a short interval, during which raffle tickets were sold, 3 other seniors, Vice-Captain, Jill and Rosemary, performed another play, Fame. Captain and Vice-Captain later did Back Over the Years, in which they spoke about our various activities during the past 10 years. Also, Captain and I did a puppet show in which Marissa and Vice Captain spoke the voices of the characters in Alice in Wonderland. The evening drew to a close very successfully, with a number of Christmas songs in which all the club joined. When we went back into the dressing room, there was the usual mess to be cleared up, but we all agreed that we had enjoyed the show, although we were thankful it was all over. Wendy. A picture from Dr. Bernardo's homes of some of the children that the Sheredean Club have helped through their donations. This was the programme for their Christmas concert 1955. I noticed that they finish off with the national anthem at the end, the Queen. I noticed that their Christmas selection back in 1955 would be very similar to what we would use today. White Christmas, I Saw Mummy Kissing Santa Claus, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Silent Night, It's Christmas All Over the World, Snowy White Snow, Santa Natale, and White Christmas, and a nice printed notice for their concert, with a receipt for £3 and letter of thanks from Dr. Bernardo's homes. The receipt below was the result of some very hard work by Penny Hill. We didn't know anything about it until she presented us with 27 shillings to be sent to Dr. Bernardo's. She and her two cousins had had a sale in her garden, selling cakes and drinks, things they had made, and charging for a go on the swing, and other side shows. I think they did very well indeed. Thanks, Penny. Captain. And the receipt from Dr. Bernardo's homes. Christmas party. As we had so many members in the club, we decided to have the Christmas party at the Baptist Hall. We arrived there at 7 p.m. with our contributions for the tea. The table was set up and it really looked very nice. We invited Mr. and Mrs. Stacy and Michael Parkinson, that's me, to the party. After we had cleared away the tea things, we sat in a ring and played a musical parcel. Then the prizes were given. The winners were Wendy first with 35 out of 37 attendances and 25 stars, Joyce, me, second with 35 out of 37 attendances and 23 stars. The junior winners were Pat Rolls, attendance, Pat Ellis, silver milk tops. After the prizes were given, a small gift was presented to us all. Then Rosemary presented Mrs. Stacy with a pair of nylons and Mr. Stacy some tobacco. When this was finished, we played games, and when the juniors had gone home, we had some dancing. It was then time to pack up our things and go home. The idea of using a hall seemed a very good one indeed, and I think all of us enjoyed ourselves. J. Parkinson. On Friday, December the 23rd, the club went carol singing. There was Captain, Rosemary, Marissa, Wendy and Pat. We went to call for Ann Taylor and then went to meet Joyce, Peggy and Pat Leverton at the 52 bus terminus. Soon after that, we went to Peggy's house where we sang 3 songs. After that, we went to several friends and relatives of Joyce's and Peggy's. We then went to Joyce's house and sang. They asked us if we would like a mince pie and a cup of tea, which we had. After eating and drinking, we called on some more friends of the seniors after that, and then went to Margaret's home and saw that she didn't look very well. We went to Sheila Headley's and Shirley Marshall's. At about 9 o'clock we took Ann Taylor home, but first we went to a boy's house We were in the middle of our first song when we felt a bucket of water being thrown over us. We didn't wait for more, but moved quickly away. Marissa got most of the water. She was soaked. We went to dry off at Anne's. We had a cup of tea and some biscuits, which Mrs. Taylor gave to us. We thought it would be about time to go home then, so we left Anne at her house and made our way home. Patricia R. Ellis. This was the letter that they received from Dr. Bernardo's Homes, thanking them for the £3 that they donated as a result of their carol singing. And that was the receipt for the £3 which they donated to Dr. Bernardo's Homes as a result of their carol singing. Rosemary Neal had to say goodbye to the club as she has moved to Gorleston-on-Sea in Norfolk. She hopes to come and see us one day, and maybe we shall go and see her, perhaps camping.